Okay, you're right. Welcome to your tutorial on multiplying and dividing algebraic fractions. Last lesson we looked at adding and subtracting. Today we are going to look at multiplying and dividing. So let's begin. Okay, what is it? As with adding and subtracting, the methods for multiplying and dividing fractions that involve pronumerals follow the same principles that we use for normal fractions. So just like we learnt the other lesson, when we add and subtract we have to find a common denominator. When we multiply we have to use the same principles that we use with normal numerical fractions. So let's have a look at some examples. Okay, let's have a look at this example here. Now I remember with normal numerical fractions, so fractions that just involve numbers, when I have two of them and I want to multiply, I just multiply my numerators and my denominators by each other. So here, x on 2 multiplied by 6 on y. First thing I do, x multiplied by 6. X multiplied by 6 is 6x. Okay. Then I've got 2 multiplied by y. 2 multiplied by y is 2y. That's my answer, guys. But what was that most important thing I always taught you? Okay, once you get an answer, you have to ask yourself, can I write that any more simply? Okay, and I've got 6x on 2y. Okay, is there a number, that's the same as saying 6 times x and 2 times y. Is there a number that goes into 6 that goes into 2? Is there a number that goes into 6 that also goes into 2? Oh, okay, 2, 3, no, 3 doesn't go. Oh, hold on, 2. How many times does 2 go into 2? Okay, 2 goes into 2 once, 1y. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So what I've just done there, guys, is I've simplified. Okay, I've said, is there a number that goes into both of these, 6 and 2? And my answer is yes, it is 2. 2 goes into 2 once and into 6 3 times. So I can simplify this again and it becomes 3x on 1y. A reminder with this bit down the bottom though, we don't write 1y, we simply write y. Okay, so my final answer for x on 2 multiplied by 6 on y is 3x divided by y, or 3x on y, because I've got my answer and then I simplified. Let's look at another example. Okay, it says y multiplied by 2z, y on 2x multiplied by 2z on 3y. So, again, we do it one step at a time. This time I'm not going to rewrite it out because we've got the idea. Okay, y multiplied by 2z becomes 2zy. 2x multiplied by 3y. Now I've got some pronumerals and some numbers, so I'll deal with my numbers first. 2 multiplied by 3 becomes 6, and then I've got an x, and then I've got a y. Now, remember what happened when we were simplifying these before. I said if I've got one on the top and one pronumeral on the bottom, they actually cancel out. So, this y here cancels out with that y there. That was from a few lessons ago. If that doesn't make sense to you, might be an idea to go and revise some of that other stuff. And again, we ask ourselves, is there anything else I can do? Is there any numbers that go into 2 that also go into 6? That means I can simplify. 2, 6. Oh, it's 2 again. Okay, now I can write 1z on 3x. How I did that is I asked myself, how many times does 2 go into 2? Once. How many times does 2 go into 6? 3 times. Okay, but again, we know we don't write 1z. We simply write z. So my simplified answer for y on 2x multiplied by 2z on 3y is z on 3x. Okay, that's how it works. Remember to cancel and simplify. Let's have a look at this example here. Okay, it says 1 over x divided by 4 on x. Remember, whenever I have division, what we need to do is we need to flip our second fraction around or do the reciprocal. So, when I have 1 on x divided by 4 on x, what we do is we flip these around And because we're doing the opposite, we're flipping it around, we also follow it through with the opposite operation. So it becomes 1 on x multiplied by x on 4. 1 on x multiplied by x on 4, and then I just perform those calculations. 1 multiplied by x is 1x. Okay, so I'll write down 1x. 4 multiplied by x becomes 4x. Okay, now that's the multiplication I've done. Now I've noticed something here with my answer. I noticed that I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom. What do I remember about that? Oh, if I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom, they cancel each other out. So the way to simplify this one, it actually becomes 1 over 4. Okay, 1 on 4. Reminder, always check. Is there a number that goes into 1 and 4? No, that's its most simple form. Is there a pronumeral on the top and the bottom that's the same? Can I cancel it out? They're the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Let's look at the next example. This is the last one, guys. So again, we have 3x on 2 divided by 4x on 9y. Ooh, we're getting a bit more tricky. Okay, I'm going to write this out. What do we do with division? We flip it around and turn it into multiplication, or we do the reciprocal. Okay, so I'm flipping this. Okay, so it becomes 9y on 4x. Okay, and we're just going to move it out of this way here. Okay, so 3xy multiplied by 9y. Let's deal, because we've got pronumerals and we've got numbers. So let's deal with our numbers first. What is, and I'll make that clear that that's what I'm doing. What's 3 multiplied by 9? Ooh, 3 multiplied by 9 is 27. Then we've got an x and 2 y's. Oh, hold on. I've got 2 y's. I've got y multiplied by y. What is it again when I've got I multiply a pronumeral by another pronumeral? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's that pronumeral squared. So I put the x in from here, and then I've got y multiplied by y. That becomes y squared. Okay. Then I've got down the bottom 2 multiplied by 4x. Let's deal with the numbers first. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Then I've got x on the end. Now, a few things to do. What can I do here? First off, I've got an x on the top and an x on the bottom, so I have to get rid of those. Now, is there any number that goes into 27 that goes into 8? Okay, factors of 8. 1, no, it's going to be 2. 2 doesn't go into 27. 4 doesn't go into 27. And 8. 8 doesn't go into 27. Oh, okay. No, I've just quickly done those factor lists in my head, guys. I've worked out that there's no number that goes into 8 that goes into 27. So my final answer for this, I can pretty much leave it like that. I'm just going to rewrite it nicely. 27y squared on 8. And that's multiplying and dividing algebraic fractions.